Hey everybody, DeLong Shot Signatures here. This is episode 112 of my 2024 TTM returns, and I have 8 successes to share with you all, as well as a massive gift and a shout out to a friend who got it for me. I'll share that at the end. But we're going to start off with a Hall of Fame return. This is a 2 of 2 success in 7 days from Pro Football Hall of Fame wide receiver Steve Largent. I had a couple of his cards lying around that I had been meaning to send out for some time. Finally got around to it, included his fee. I think it's $10. Very reasonable for a guy who led in so many categories at one point in his career. Fantastic player, great signer. As long as you include that fee, he'll get back to you really quickly. Next one is a college football player. This envelope was kind of destroyed when I got it, so thankfully nothing too bad happened to the photos. He included a letter which he signed as well. That got a little bit damaged, but not too bad overall. But it's a 3 of 2 success in 92 days from Georgia Tech punter David Shanahan. So I haven't had a chance to really look into stats and bios for all of these people, but I think Shanahan is either Australian or Irish. Came over from another country to play college football and is doing pretty well with Georgia Tech's program. And then he included this letter, which had some water damage and everything, but it did a really good job of protecting the photos. But he said, "Thank you so much for the letter. It means a lot knowing I have cool dudes like you supporting me all the way up in Indiana. Hopefully I can play well enough this year to keep you as a fan. You're the man, Landon." Signed, David Shanahan. It's very cool of him to do that. He also, I think this is probably why the envelope got destroyed. It happens almost every time. But he also included a team wristband. Or, I don't really know. I own my response. I don't know if that's a Georgia Tech or something that maybe he wears as like a personal thing. Who knows? I'll have to look into that. But very cool to get that regardless. Then we have an MMA fighter, an active one. This is a 2 of 2 success in 127 days from Bryce Mitchell, who I guess either goes by Thug Nasty or says that. I don't really follow MMA fighting as close as I used to. But active fighter, pretty good career record. I think he's only had 2 losses so far as a professional. So very, very cool to get that. I've been trying to keep up with that more as I see others get MMA fighters and send to them as well myself. Then we have a racing legend. This will not be the only racing legend that I got an autograph of recently. 2 of 2 success in 168 days from Rick Mears. Got these cards that came in the Indy 500 program. Sent his card as well as a picture of the Bjorg Werner trophy and got those signed. Then we got an NHL return. This is a 2 of 2 success in 50 days from former right winger Herb Raglan. Played about 300 games in his career. Another addition to a very large NHL Pro set, which I think I have like 40% of it complete or something like that. Then we've got a college basketball coach. I need to send out to them for this year because their season's just started. But this one was sent out last season. It is a 2 of 2 success in 301 days from George Washington head coach Chris Caputo. I want to say he's in his 3rd season as a coach. I think I have the women's George Washington coach. I could be wrong about that. But I did have several coaches for this program before, so I figured I'd send out to the current one. I think he has a 500 record right now, very early in his career. Then we got a bowling return. This was the last bowling request that I had sent out from the first batch, so all of those came back, and I just sent out some more to new names. This was a 2 of 2 success in 222 days from active bowler and probably future Hall of Famer Kyle Troop. So his dad also signs. I got him back as one of my first bowling successes, and then sent out to his son Kyle, who I think is at like 11 or 12 title wins, and he now has two. Oh gosh, what do they call them? Opens. It's kind of like golf. I think it's called an open. He has two opens titles. I think, or maybe it's a major. I don't know, but regardless, he is doing really well right now. I think he won the U.S. Open this year for the PBA Tour, and lots of wins. Very, as you can tell, charismatic, ostentatious kind of guy. Very much has his own style, but a fantastic bowler, and he is now eligible for some bowling Hall of Fames. So hopefully get to see him enter those sometime here soon. Last TTM success that we have here was sent out during COVID. It has been out for some time. I originally got a postcard back stating that my items wouldn't be signed due to COVID and restrictions and everything. Several others got back the same thing, but it was sent back in their own envelope. Didn't mean that they didn't keep it, because I got back 2 of 2 in 1,671 days from actor, voice actor, comedian H. John Benjamin, who does the voice for several well-known characters, but mainly Archer. That's a show that I've watched quite a bit, and I really like. Bob Belcher off of Bob's Burgers. He does so many other side roles and cameos, and just one of the most recognizable voices right now. And it's so funny too, especially in his live action roles, because he doesn't look like he should have that voice that deep, and it's not like super deep, but it's almost like kind of thunderous in a way. And it's just really funny because he's a shorter dude, and he's just able to speak like that. But a fantastic actor, very funny, great timing with his stuff. I've enjoyed a lot of the work that he's done. So very cool to add him to the collection. So that is it for TTMs. I'm going to kind of push them back just a little bit. But I mentioned that I had received a gift, and it involved a racing legend. So recently, there was a signing for a legend that I wasn't able to attend. I had work, and I really can't miss any more time right now with a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I was like, it'd be cool to get him. I've gotten him through the mail before, so I have his autograph. It's not a big deal. And then my buddy Matthew, who I've talked about him before. We go to Indy 500s, Brickyards together, or at least hang out a little bit. Hopefully next year he'll go to the NHRA drag races. You have to do it, Matthew. I keep telling you, you got to do it. But super great guy. He does, all kinds of stuff, and he's back in school again, and focusing on that. But he saw that it was happening too, and everything just kind of worked out perfect for him. So he was able to get out of classes early, drive all the way from Purdue down to Speedway where this autograph signing was happening, got in line, and he called me about it, and it was like, hey, if they allow people to buy multiple items to get signed, would you want one? I was like, yeah, I guess, I'll pay you back for it. He's like, all right, I'll do that. So he gets there, and he's there early, but there's already a pretty long line. And apparently it was limited to 200 people, and he was about 100th in line. So, he was very fortunate to get there as early as he did. And then it was for a book that had come out, and so he went to go buy his copies, and they ran out of books, like just right before ahead of him. And he was like, oh shoot, I won't be able to get both. But then they said, if you're in line, at this point, write down your address, and if you pay for it, we'll send you a copy of the book. So that's how I was able to get one, because he did that, just wrote down his own address, had it sent to him, and we met up on Sunday for me to get this. The funny thing is that his book was already signed, so when he went to go get it signed, the guy was like, oh, looks like I already took care of that one for you. but he finally got to meet one of his legends, a guy who won 4 Indy 500s, the last 4-time Indy 500 winner that he has yet to meet. He's seen him at the track, he's gone up to him and asked, but this guy doesn't really do signings anymore, so it was shocking that he did this. But Matthew has just been wanting to meet this guy and get a picture or get an autograph, something, anything, and he was able to get both. The pictures that they took together were great. So very, very happy for Matthew, and a big, big thank you to him for helping me get a signed copy of AJ Foyt, Survivor Champion Legend. It's by Art Garner. Art was also at the signing, so if you were there, you got your book signed by Art Garner. Mine wasn't signed by him, which is fine. But once you open it, after this page, a nice, very nice looking signature from AJ Foyt. Especially after some recent TTMs that I've seen, and one that I got back from him, I think, last year. It was looking kind of rough there for a minute. But great looking signature, couldn't have come out better. And hope I get some time next year to read the book, because it's volume 1. It only goes from 1935 to 1977, involving his life. So it's definitely not the last book, but it might be one of the last appearances and signings that AJ Foyt does, because he's no longer accepting TTM requests, and unless you're a friend of his, you are not getting him at the track. I'm sorry, you're just not. But very, very cool of Matthew to do that. So thank you, Matthew. I told you thank you, a bunch of times when we met up, but thank you again. Glad you got to meet one of the guys on your bucket list that you wanted. So that is it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Best of luck with your guys' collecting. Take care.